We are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tom Silver Certification Program. And who do I have with me? In fact, many of you out there are probably wondering, where is Tom Silver on the screen? Well, he was actually came in 1 hour earlier to say that his flight got delayed and he has to hop into the plane, and that's where he is right now. So he's not in the plane, no Wi-Fi, he can't log in. But we do have three amazing speakers with us today. Our first speaker is actually, I think you've met him a few times, Julian, and he's the president of the Malaysian Professional Hypnotherapy Association. Okay, and it's through him that I got to know about the power of hypnotherapy, and I would say the association has done a lot of amazing efforts. Yeah, and next we have Datuk Dr. Mukundan Pillay, whom many of you met last week. Okay, Dr. Pillay is actually a very highly respected expert in the government and private medical fields. He's an advisor to many institutions, and his knowledge, I guarantee, will illuminate our understanding of hypnotherapy, okay, in the medical science. And of course, our lady of the day. So we have Dr. No Asyikin binti Fadzil. Dr. No, where are you now? Actually, you're in Kelantan, is it?
Yes, I'm in Kelantan, Kota Baru.
Kota Baru. Okay, I must go there soon.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dr. No is actually a respected psychiatrist and head of uni and MENTARI at HUSM. And she is actually very expert in this area. And what she has done in her work as a psychiatrist as well has impacted many, many people. So tonight, we have three brilliant minds and one more brilliant mind in the plane with us in spirit. Although he's not here, we feel him. We know he's rooting for all of us right now tonight. Okay, and we're going to provide insights on the field of hypnotherapy. How is it helping people in the field of medical science, or even as simple as daily lives? And of course, we're going to know a bit from Julian about the Tom Silver Scientific Hypnotherapy certification that will take place this month from the 17th to 21st of July. And yes, I have paid and I will take part as well. Okay, so whoever you are right now, I know there are many of you watching already, and it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a medical professional, a hypnotherapy enthusiast, or just curious about mind, body, wellness. Okay, come, listen on today, and join us in this transformative conversation. So over to you, Julian.
Okay, so hi everybody, I'm Julian. I'm the chairman for the Malaysian Professional Hypnotherapy Association, and also I've been appointed as the CEO for United States Board of Clinical Hypnosis. And I really like to thank Dr. Pillay here for joining us, and our special guest, my Dr. No Asyikin, all the way from Kelantan, such a great supporter for hypnosis, yeah. Uh, we met 3 years ago, and she has been in our association too, as in MPHA. And today, what we want to look at is a very important process in the development of hypnosis, especially scientific hypnosis, how it integrates into the medical world. Because there's a lot of hypnotherapy out there, and they're practicing, and the option and the medical opportunity to integrate and to have integrative medicine is so amazing. So we are having Tom Silver in 2 weeks' time in Malaysia, and this is going to be one of the best hypnotherapy training ever had in this part of the world, simply because Tom brings in 40 years of experience. He has been using neuroscience and EEG in his hypnosis 40 years ago, long before any of us heard of it. He has been using it, and he's really the world's foremost hypnotist who is very well versed in this integration with many doctors as a student, top scientists as a student. And for the first time, he's here in Malaysia to make Malaysia the hub for scientific hypnosis in Asia. And most important, to be here and train many Malaysians in his wonderful knowledge. And so, saying that, I would like to welcome all of you all And just a little bit on hypnosis. Hypnosis is a state of relaxation where ideas and suggestions are better accepted. And it's a hypnotherapy is a collection of techniques with the subconscious mind. And it is a clear, defined area for a therapy, and it works very well in the areas of mental health. And I'm sure uh, Dr. Noah Asyikin will explain it even further. But what I would like to share with you is there's so much advantage in this occupation. One is you have the time to work at your own pace with it. You know, if you ran it on your own. Second is it's rewarding helping people. Yes, it's quite rapid too in the way it works with symptoms and psychosomatic issues. And it's also a lucrative business. I always tell people learn a skill when you don't need it because one day when you need it, it's there. And hypnosis is something that you only need a chair. And even if you're 80, 90 years old, you can still use it and earn some money. Isn't that good? You don't need a big capital, startup capital for anything. So it's a very good tool, your toolbox to learn. Even if you're in any other profession, whether you're a counselor, whether you're a doctor, anyone, it's good to have because uh, sometimes we need to work with clients and patients with who are different in the way their mindset and behaviors are, and we work with all options that we have. So with with that, I would like to pass it on to Caroline, and let's hear you ask us another question.
Okay, I do have a lot of questions. Our guests are just coming in into the stream, but actually I have some burning questions that I need to ask as I would say as a bystander, as a member of the public. Actually, I wanted to ask Tom Silver, but no, but I think I know you can answer it for me as well, whether
Yes.
Dr. No or Dr. Datuk Pillay or even Julian. Okay, I wanted to know how what is there to expect when we say scientific hypnotherapy? How is it different from traditional forms of hypnosis? Actually, a lot of people ask me when I share with them today's link.
Okay. Traditional hypnosis today, yes, have have hypnosis. You know, like when they put you into a trance, or they call it put you in a state of hypnosis and heightened awareness. They have terms like la light trance, deep trance, and all that, you know. So sometimes it's very hard to gauge whether at what level the person is in hypnosis. So scientific hypnosis integrates it with say medical devices like EEG, you know, so you can know whether you're at alpha, beta, delta, theta. So it's more precise because it assists sometimes the hypnotherapist to know that look, I'm actually when you relax, you see all the graphs are showing that you're in a state of relaxation. You're at that level, you know. So it's you can see that the person is responding in that way. Now the other thing also scientific is you need to as you work with hypnosis, you need to understand how certain parts of your brain, which parts of the brain is responding to chemically and what behavior change and all that are happening. So it's taking the whole knowledge of hypnosis much more into integrating with medical science. Perhaps Dr. No can further elaborate that too in her own opinion.
Yeah, from a medical perspective and as a practitioner psychiatrist. To know?
Okay. For me, how I see the hypnotherapies in the medical field is when there is a great change in the outcome of the medical condition as itself. For example, like I use hypnosis when I want to go into a patient's mind when there is a lot of barrier. For example, I deal with teenagers who like to do self harm. They actually themselves don't know why they want to do the self harm, so it's difficult for us to understand them. So thanks God that give me opportunity to learn hypnotherapies from Julian, then I can use that to go into their mind. Because we know that conscious and subconscious, explained by Freud, the best, our psychoanalytics says that we cannot understand if we are covered by conscious. So from technique hypnosis, we can go slightly to unconscious to understand them. So when we bring to the surface of understanding, so they can make a changes rather than just give advice. You go nowhere. You just go to the surface and still the behavior cannot be changed. And
So,
all those behavior actually uh, can be checked or can be observed by machine. For example, EEG. Yes, what we have now. And I'm also in a process to go to the ethics. Datuk Pillay may know about ethics in research, where we have to go through the ethical clearance about doing research with hypnosis and also EEG.
Mm.
so you do have some very good, probably experience and case studies of actual people that have probably you have applied some form of hypnotherapy in your work.
Yes, I have because I'm also practice a few other psychotherapy like DBT, CBT, something like that. But I think that hypnotherapy has a special element in the therapy itself where it can help me go deeper into the subconscious where I can work with the root of the problem rather than just treat the symptom itself.
Because many of these symptoms are a byproduct of repressed
Yes.
memories, and
Mm.
over and these memories have already been forgotten long time ago, but they trigger still the symptoms at deep rooted level, and so these symptoms come out, and that's why they use the word subconscious or unconscious, because the whenever you talk about such symptoms, we call it psychosomatic symptoms, that mean mind related symptoms. And these are symptoms that you just can't understand where it's coming from.
Yes.
And you cannot counsel it, you cannot say anything because you just don't know where it's coming from. So
Yes.
hypnosis is a tool that goes into the operating system, I call it, the subconscious, and the subconscious works towards as to where the problem first started. It could be something in the past, it could be a habitual, in terms of addiction, it could be a habitual condition memory, or a survival's linked to it. So there are many ways that hypnosis is so fantastic in
Yes.
in empowering, motivating, and really, I use the word relief. I never say stop because we are not allowed to do claims. Yes, you just relieve the symptoms.
In very, very interesting. Dr. Datuk Pillay, do you have any opinion on this? I
Yeah,
think you're having
you
a second
see,
device on, is it? There's a interruption from your side.
no, no.
Again, I cannot
Now,
hear you.
hypnosis is a long-standing field. You see, thousands of years ago, ancient civilizations were practicing it already for healing. Now, over time, you see, many scientists have developed more and more. They structured the processes, the procedures, and then evidence-based. When you mentioned just now, asked us what is the scientific basis of it. When we say scientific, basically it's evidence-based. So over time, there are a lot of researches done, and our Professor Dr. Nora Asyikin also confirms this now her own experience. A lot of research has been done on this subject, and is documented. The effects, the good positive effects, have been documented. So when they are evidence-based, they're documented, and they are structured in a very standardized procedure form, and if it is repeatable, you can achieve repeatable results. Then it is scientific. Okay. So far, hypnosis has been, now it's considered as scientific hypnosis, because as we will wait for Tom to come, he'll present to us many techniques that he has already modified and made into a scientific approach, and that is what we are looking for.
Thank you.
Evidence based and professional delivery together with ethics, as Nora Shigan mentioned just now.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, a good.
Julian, yeah, you were
Yes,
saying?
I
I
would.
want to ask on
We
this as
should
well.
promote it. To integrate this medical practice, integration involves a lot of effort. No, a lot of effort. First thing is understanding, collaboration, education and training, research, documentation. All of these things will go towards making it a professional practice. Now, we must accept there are many quacks in this field. Normally, you talk to some professionals, they say hypnotherapy is a quack. quite good. But now it's not that anymore. Personally, I can tell you my personal experience. I had this problem of flying. And in my work, I had to fly a lot. Can you imagine the suffering I had to go through? So I came to a point where I had to go and see a hypnotherapist, and she treated me, and I got over this fear of flying. So personally, I've developed, and that's when I interest in hypnotherapy developed in me, and I started following this field, and then I came across Julian, and then I offered to develop this field in this country. So we see great potential for scientific hypnotherapy in Malaysia, and we want to make this a center in this part of the world. So that's why we're trying to achieve with the Tom Silver's program. Thank you.
I would like to just add on this. You see, I had the opportunity when I was in London to be trained by a FRCS surgeon, Dr. Jack Gibson. Yes, and he's very legendary, and he worked in Kildare Island General Hospital, and he had done more than 4,000 surgeries without anesthesia. I'm saying this because he is someone that you can just check in the internet, and he's been interviewed so many times by BBC and everything. So one of the few things many people have not seen the potential, the true potential, the true magnitude of hypnosis, because they just think it's just close your eyes, relax, or you're just doing some regression, take out some depression or some anxiety, release some condition. Actually, do you know hypnosis is the only complementary therapy that is in the surgical room? No one is there because hypnosis is used in paramedics, hypnosis is used in surgical room, hypnosis is used in radiology, oncology, pediatrics, dentistry, psychotherapy, nursing. It's across the board. There is 200 years old with tons of journal reports, and it's so common now in the West. And that's why Malaysia needs to upgrade hypnosis. And we cannot just be thinking that just because there's one or two incident where wrong reporting in the newspaper and here and there that says it's superstitious, it's causing trickery, and it needs more ethical. Yes, of course it needs. Yeah, there are always in every practice there is some ethical breach. But let's look at the real value of hypnosis and hypnotherapy. It should be put in its proper place with all its scientific benefits and advantage into the national mental health agenda, together with all the other good therapies like psychology, counseling, psychiatrist, psychotherapy. Hypnosis should also be given that opportunity rather than always being said that it's the bad boy or a bad girl therapy that is always causing a lot of misconception as something that can manipulate people. In fact, not many people know in hypnosis you can say no, and that's why it's not easy to, because common sense always prevail and not everybody can go into be manipulated. Yes, so we have to get the facts correctly, and that's why Tom Silver is down here to break the myth that and put it in its rightful place that hypnosis is a proper structured medication with scientific value. It integrates, it's very therapeutical, it integrates very well with the medical science.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the opportunity to learn with Tom Silver when he came here is very luxury, because if you want to go to US to learn, it costs us a lot more, I think. So,
Yes, it's
uh,
10,000 US.
yeah, so we have to grab the opportunity. And in the, I think we have to spread more this information to public, because many people actually want to learn hypnosis, but because it's costly. That's why we have to inform them the benefit of that, rather than seeing that hypnosis as a tool to scam people.
Yes, yes. Actually, it's not. If you really look at what's happening, in fact, today only I wrote into the newspaper to explain to the newspaper, on behalf of the society association, to say there are a lot of people who there are maybe. You shouldn't simply just put words like hypnosis because you don't have any other words to use to describe a manipulation. Yes,
Mm.
people, it can be influence, it can be sales, It can be just people just seen a real value there to really want something, and they may have been scammed. You know, it's not everybody 24 hours is being scammed by hypnosis. In fact, 24 hours, a lot of people out there are being relieved of their misery with hypnosis. Yes, and that we don't hear in the newspaper, and that's what I'm always wondering why. So we have been, I would say we have been blinded by the benefits of hypnosis simply because of one or two of this media news that had happened, and one or two individuals who got scammed or things like this. You know, in fact, I've been practicing for more than 23 years. I have many doctors and even hospital reference over the years, and it's ample proof that today many medical people, lay people, and know about hypnosis. The public sector knows about hypnosis. Years ago, they say, "Don't look at my eye, it's against my religion." It's no more that. I don't hear that anymore. What they say is, it's an educated community, it's an educated public. Everyone has been to a hypnotherapist before. So I think it's time that I feel that Ministry of Health should give us a very good second opinion to put us into the mental health, national mental health agenda, and develop more education part, more therapy part for hypnotherapy in the country. And scientific hypnosis has to be the standard, because like Dato said, evidence base is so important. And I'm sure you, because when in today's world it's all about, not just, if you want to integrate, you need to have this evidence base, good documentation, good ethics, patient care, and you got to operate exactly like how well developed the medical world is. Then only you become a very respectable hypnotherapist. And this is the occasion to come for Tom Silver's program, because he's a highly respected hypnotherapist.
Yeah, I have two questions. I okay, like for me, I'm going in to learn as to help myself to become a better person, to understand and manage my own like inner outer me better. But I also realized that recently, which is just like in April this year, according to our health ministry, it says that 29.3% of adults in Malaysia above 16 years old have mental health issues. How serious is this? What do you all think? Also, anyone can answer.
Dr. Noor?
Yeah, the newly released national health survey has found that the increment about few percent from the previous report. Yeah, it's true, because now our condition life health condition now, and our life condition with the very hectic, all the problem here and there, make people can't stand the stress. So because of that, they tend to make faster decision to solve the problem. For example, they just ignore. When they ignore, the problem getting worse and worse. So when it come to up level, so they don't know like anymore how to solve. So as an easy way, so they come to a condition we call depression. But when you go to the hospital, the doctor, if they are not trained well, they just treat the symptom of depression, not thinking about the root of the problem. So actually, the root of the problem is poor problem managing, poor self control, something like that. So that's the issue. So in uh, giving treatment to this kind of person, we cannot just advise you do this, you do that, because they have their own belief. So I believe that while we're doing hypnosis, we can instill a good teach to them subconsciously, so that they can use that longer in their life.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That is very serious. Yeah, Dr. Pillay, you want to say something?
Yeah. You see, the statistics released by the Ministry of Health, of course, that survey is true. The fact, we can't doubt that. That's the actual situation on the ground. But every person you just see among your own group of friends, your own community, your own family, you see there are a lot of mental health issues. Many people are suffering from anxiety, stress, stress is a major problem nowadays, and the personal behavior changes. A lot of things can be achieved through hypnosis. But this thing is becoming popular now. More and more people are becoming aware that there is a way to handle this matter. But what I want to say is we should educate professionals. Healthcare professionals should be educated on these various aspects of hypnosis therapy that can help or complement whatever they are doing. For example, pain management. Pain management, cancer patients are suffering. Pain management, hypnosis can help them a lot. There's already a lot of evidence on that. Pain management, lifestyle changes. To improve your health, you must change your lifestyle. Your behavior changes. And this can be easily affected through hypnosis. So these are the things that medical practitioners should be aware of. So that if they come and they are meeting, they are the frontliners, they will see all kinds of patients and they will know the different problems that the patients have. And now the other thing is they must question and talk to the patient to find out more. But now in the general practice, if you see the doctor has less than 10 minutes to spend with the patient. So that inquiry may not take place. But if you really know the patient, you will know that there is some underlying mental condition that's affecting this person, and he can easily be treated by a trained hypnotherapist. So that's why medical practitioners must also have a network and collaborate with hypnotherapists so that they know whom to refer which patient. Okay, so going to the professional side of hypnotherapy, that's why in our association, the Malaysian Professional Hypnotherapy Association, we are emphasizing on professionalism, ethics, and evidence based. So we must maintain the record, and we must make sure we are responsible so that the public can trust you. Now, only if this trust comes, they will open up. So, as Asyikin was saying, there are a lot of people, young people especially, suffering very badly, leading to suicide, leading to unacceptable behavior. All of these things can be corrected because of the subconscious mind. And we all know that subconscious mind affects 90% of our man's daily operations. And the conscious mind is only around 10%. So if you can reprogram the subconscious mind through hypnosis, that you can achieve a lot of benefits. Thank you.
That's so true because in fact I myself, five of my friends actually committed suicide and they all died. So that's a sad fact. And in fact, Julian, we have a few questions from the floor. One is from Organic Sprout Compost. I think this is a business page, and the person asks, can we address issues like low self-esteem and lack of motivation?
Yes, yes. You see, hypnosis is a powerful tool for motivation. You see, the basis of hypnosis is basically visualization. Visualization, relaxation, and projection. You see, I always use the word imagination is the language of the subconscious mind. And there's a rule in hypnosis that we all as therapists know. What we logically want to do will be override by what we imagine. I give an example. If you say, I want to go to the gym, but in your mind you imagine, oh, I'm tired, then tiredness overrides the logical thing. Say you want to say, I want to stop smoking, but if your mind says, you imagine tomorrow, then every day is a tomorrow. So hypnosis is a powerful tool to work with the unconscious to see positive imaging, because any information put into the subconscious mind will be act with remarkable speed, lack of criticism, lack of logic. It will just do it. If someone say woo, and you won't get your goosebump tomorrow morning, you'll get the goosebump right away because the reaction is very fast, because the subconscious works very fast. So with hypnosis you can make a change. What is the change good? That's why when you motivate, every thought has a physical reaction. So if you put a sad thought in there, then suddenly a a, a sad body pattern comes in. So if you put a happy thought in there, the body changes with the happy body pattern. So likewise, if you see it good suggestion, good information into the subconscious, you'll see the body changing and elevating itself from that that situation. So I always use the word, if you change the psychology, you change the physiology.
Very interesting. Jasper Sidhu has a question. What about using hypnotherapy to motivate sales team? What do you all think?
It's very, very common. I've done lots of sales training with hypnosis. Yes. What is the number one reason why sales performance are not there? I always use the word performance is in the mind, bringing energy to the body. To have sales, you got to have a lot of energy. And so, if your mind is not energized at a high frequency to see yourself in a very creative process to receive things, to receive sales, yes, then your energy is not going forward. You see, one of the key symptoms of defeat of a sales guys are procrastination, lack of belief structure, low energy, and the biggest thing is fear. They sometimes not only fear that they won't achieve it, they even fear that the quota is so big that they cannot make it. You know, and then there's also grapevine. They say, oh, now the market is slow, recession time, customers are difficult, not enough money. These are all so what behaviors. Your job is to go and sell. So when you see it in the correct thing, you are actually manifesting the mind towards your target.
And
Very
in
interesting.
clinical, we call it RAS, reticular
RAS.
activating system.
Yes, the area, the right
Yes,
frontal lobe.
yeah. So Julian see in way of hypnosis, I see as a clinician as a RAS, a reticular activating system. So when you correct your reticular activating system, everything will be correct.
I
Yes,
So it
see.
shows some kind of evidence here lah
yeah.
about the theory.
Because
Datuk
the
Pillay, what do
sales,
you? Oh, sorry, Julian, you can continue.
uh, see in sales, it's not just sales and it's entrepreneurship. After MCO, lot of business owners are in a dilemma because they suffered a lot of loss, and then they have come to a new world where everything is different. Traditional way of doing business is topsy turvy. Their marketing process is no more the same. Even the social media today, you can go and do all the Instagram, Facebook, everything doesn't guarantee you that you're going to get customers. There's something different. And then the way you today, it's about relationship selling, it's about all kind of selling, yes, and they still can't get it because the world has transformed after MCO. So they are in a dilemma. Sometimes they are lost. They don't know where to go. They can't kickstart. Depression gets into them. Anxiety to me is unfamiliarity. You see, in the mind. So basically, all these are dampening effects, and that's where a lot of the clients, I get a lot of business owners who come to me for business coaching with hypnosis to articulate them back, to create the balancing of the mind, that they're not craving or pushing aversion away from anything, and they start to observe and see the detailing as they are and make better decisions towards where they want to go as a business person. Clarity to certainty.
Any comments from Datuk Pillay?
No, actually, this hypnosis has been used successfully in sports. If you see performance improvement, hypnosis has been successfully used. Basically, a person's performance depends on a lot of subconscious programming. Many of them have wrong beliefs. Many of them had wrong experiences, bad experiences. All of them pull them back. So when these are cleared, then this person is free to run, and they perform well. So all the belief structure, the belief system that they have developed and inculcated from young, all of these play a role now and limits them. So limiting beliefs, getting rid of limiting beliefs is a very, very important step for personal performance. So when you're mentioning about the sales team, definitely it goes back to, as Julian was saying, personal performance, So knowing their own limitations, what's holding them up, and through regression, you can go back and see where it all started and how it can be corrected. With this kind of correction, simple correction, the person's performance can improve tremendously. And that's why personal performance can definitely improve with hypnosis. So everybody should know that there is an alternative tool available in the therapeutic areas. Request your professional medical provider to refer you to the right hypnotist. Okay, thank you.
Interesting. Yeah, we
I
have another
noticed there's a
question.
question there that says, how long for a person to change their performance?
Sorry, Julian. Actually, there's another question that came. Two more questions before that.
Okay, okay,
Uh,
sure.
from Dr. Paul Chan from Help University. He actually asked, can it help dementia patients? We'll go back to Alex later.
Okay. Maybe from a psychiatric point of view, maybe Dr. No, maybe you can talk about the dementia part because it's very chemical and also at the same time the aging process.
I never try with dementia patient because it's actually neurological and also structural changes in the brain already. How the brain process the information. So like we do the hypnosis, we go to the subconscious, and subconscious still sending impulse to the brain to be processed so that you can take the whatever suggestion to be acted out. But in dementia, because the brain is cannot function well already. So I think it's very, yeah, it might have effects, but it very little it have because it depend on the severity of dementia itself.
You see, hypnosis in the very beginning is a talking therapy. So to be articulate and to listen to the suggestion and ideas. So when someone is in a dementia, dementia people are also at sometimes quiet. They can listen. They are normal, and then suddenly they trigger into the dementia too. You see, so we just have to work with them to release them. And if sometimes there is an artificial created for any reason you want to release some certain other behavior for making them comfortable, maybe some of them have difficulty in sleeping, maybe some of them have difficulty in any other areas. What we can use is we can use hypnosis just to make them feel comfortable as a patient
Yes.
or for patient care, because some symptoms are so, like you say, neurotic, yeah, in a way, chemical, whatever, and aging and all that process. We just can't change. It's beyond the boundaries of hypnosis. But hypnosis can be used to create certain add-on comfort, patient comfort to it.
Yes.
So there would be some ways to use it, and that's where we'll be able to learn from Tom Silver, right? This month.
Yes,
So
that's
I would
definitely.
I would conclude that hypnosis itself for treatment of dementia cannot be used, but to give a quality of life to the patients of dementia, hypnosis a very powerful tools. Like I have patients where have sleep disturbance, right? So when we do teach how to do relaxation during the hypnosis, so he just suddenly do himself at night and he can sleep well.
Yeah, that's it.
Then the wife says that thank you doctor for teaching my husband do that. He can sleep. At least I can rest and I also can sleep. So the whole family better because the only because he can sleep, not curing the dementia itself.
Caregivers as well,
Yeah.
definitely.
It just to give them added comfort, this is the best we can do sometimes. We have to understand this is not magic. There's limitation. Human behavior. Every people are different. Through whatever journey they had gone in life, but the whole goal. That's why it's called complementary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're complementing into their life for a much more better life than what they have existingly.
Yeah, I think there's so much to explore in hypnotherapy. We have a very interesting question from Lu Gok Hu. He said, in his book, Many lives, many masters. Dr. Brian Elvis explored past lives using psychology in his treatment. So, do Kok asks, is this true or possible?
Okay, and if you look at there's an article, July 2001, Scientific America, Scientific America magazine. They to the onlookers of someone who's in hypnosis, yeah, their eyes is closed, and you think they have gone in a faraway land, lost control, and and it's a misconception because hypnosis, we think they are asleep and whatever, but they're just in a heightened state of awareness, and they are listening to us at subconscious level. So likewise, when they talk about past life, future life, yes, Scientific America magazine said is they use this word very clearly. It's unsupervised. The reason why it says unsupervised, how do you know? Do you have any historical records of that you were a knight in the medieval times, or you were born as something in many years ago? So it's very hard to justify. I would call it. It's more like some people just curious to find out, because in our Asian culture, there are many religions who believe on reincarnation, and so this process comes towards the belief that you were somebody somewhere, yeah. But what we do in hypnosis is we take into context the whole process of past life. It's just an extended regression. Like even in regression, we say go back to the time the problem first started, but for past life we say go back beyond this life to when the problem first started, and that's past life. It's a very simple thing, but there are some benefits to it. I'll give you an example. There was a time where someone came in and they said they had mental block, especially when they're doing speed reading. Their finger, the pointer, cannot is skimming over the words, but they can't remember the words as they read the text, as if they had a mental block. Yeah. So I did some regression as to why is there a trauma on the finger. Sometimes the teachers when we are young, they bang you with a ruler and say, don't point, take away your finger. So now when you point, there's a trauma on your finger. So it may stop you from getting in information, for loading in information. So what we did was I used the same technique. Go back to a time beyond this life as to when the problems happen. I don't know. It's unsupervised, but this whole storyboard that came from this client was I remember this very clearly. I was 1705, and I was working in the ship in a ship docking yard as a clerk, as a shipping clerk, helping out, and I was blind. So that kind of information, we just, like I said, hypnotherapy is a collection of techniques with the subconscious mind. So we just work with techniques to
I think he got disconnected, but it's okay. We'll still continue talking. How about Dr. No or Datuk Pillay? Do you have any comments on this past life regression or past life patterns using hypnosis?
Now, this thing goes back to the person's belief, and also cultural beliefs. Some, as Julian mentioned just now, some cultures believe your past life, whatever you did in your past life, you have to pay for it in this life. Whatever bad you've done, you pay for it. They call it karma. So this
Yeah.
all goes back to the past. It depends on the belief of the particular person. So we can generalize and say that it all goes back to individual beliefs. You know, if they believe that there is reincarnation, we have lived in other lives before, then this thing will make in their belief system, it may work because they already believe that. So then through hypnosis, we can change the subconscious mind programming for them to overcome that negative belief. So in that case, it may help. You know. But again, it goes back to the belief system of the person. So whenever we are looking at a particular individual, we must check his belief system, his beliefs, his religious beliefs, his cultural beliefs. All of these things play a big role. Every person is different. So that assessment is very important of whom you are dealing with. So if he believes in reincarnation, then he is already believing that he was somebody in the last life. And what he has done last time may affect him now. And if he believes that, that belief will get carrying on even in this life, you see.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to help
Yeah.
him by reprogramming.
And
Thank you,
if I
Dr.
can
Pillay.
add,
Julian, you're back now.
and
Yeah,
if I
welcome
can
back,
add,
Julian.
Datuk Pillay's information just now, I have one patient who believe that the karma in the past life have limit her performance in this life, make her depressed. So we work on with her. I don't know whether we go to the past life or not, but we just what I do is just correct the karma things in her subconscious, and after that she's okay and she's able to teach as usual, no more depression because she would know that it's actually not about the karma of past life, but it's actually a current life that they has to bring rather than thinking of the past.
They need to recognize that we are where we
Yes,
are right now. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And welcome
Rather
back,
than you
Julian. We got
attract,
disconnected.
yeah, rather than you attract in the thought or conscious about the karma, we have to correct that
Mm,
unconsciously to correct your conscious, and then you lead your life happily rather than just trapped in that.
yeah, definitely. And Julian, welcome back. I think you got disconnected earlier. But anyway,
Yeah.
we have one more question from Alex. Yeah. And he
Okay.
asked, how long for a person to change their performance? Say after learning hypnotherapy or yeah.
Okay. Performance basically, it depends what performance you want. Is it something you want to achieve physically, like a weight loss fitness performance, or is it a future ambition, something you want to collect and manifest in your life, better life, new car, monetary gains? Yes. So, or is it like you said, a sports performance, like Datuk Pillay says, sports performance? Well, here's how hypnosis works. Performance is all in every performance, whether your personal performance or physical performance, there's hindrance. The word performance is actually the opposite of performance is hindrance. If you don't have hindrance, you have performance. Make sense? Yes. So
Yep.
when you get rid of all the hindrance, all the things that keep you conflicted to the issues that holds within you, and you're liberated from it, then true potential and performance come out. You see, a lot of people have capabilities, but they don't have ability. The reason why they say, oh, you know what, I'm talented, I got all the skill, I deserve better. What they're trying to say is they got no performance, they got no results. So sometimes they go all the coaching, all the pep talks in the world, but actually, this is not an outside job, it's an inside job. Inside them, there's a blueprint of a belief structure for defeat. And so, at unconscious level, if you reframe and rechange that blueprint to what they would like to have at the outer level of their lives, then it is congruent, is matching that the inner blueprint and the external blueprint is the same. So performance is how I mentioned is you consciously want to do something, and your subconscious is also on it, on one vision and one mission. So when you do it, it becomes, then performance is always effortless,
I see.
and you
So
achieve
I
it.
deduce that anyone, whether you're a professional or a housewife, a student, anyone can just come for this course, change their belief system through hypnotherapy or pattern recognition, and it will make them, it will help them to go from here to at least along the path that they want to go. Correct?
Yeah, because performance is in the mind, I said, bringing energy to the body. So a lot of people, you must understand in life, a lot of things take time to do, and you need to do something, just like baking a cake. You have to put all the ingredients, then finally it becomes a gig. There is a process and it takes time. So we cannot say that performance, if I change my mind instantly I'll become a champion. No. What it does is it creates the potential in your mind now to go forward and work the plan that you have in mind, and then only with all the right time, the right process, you achieve it. What is worse is to have all that potential in you, all the great ideas in you, and you just sit down in your conflict and do nothing about it.
So
That's
if I
why
want to add something on Julian, is actually hypnosis is like this. If you want to go to see motivator to make yourself move, yes, I do it. I can do it. I can do it. But actually no change in the action, no action as well. But if you go to hypnosis, you go to the hypnosis, and then they change a bit of your subconscious. It works from inner. So you cannot
Yeah.
sleep, you know. You said just now you want to excel in, you want to lose weight, but then you are still on bed. So your inner will talk to you. You have to wake up. You have to do something on your wish so that you can lose your weight.
You see, when I use hypnosis with anxiety, depression, that is amazing, As a therapist, I can share with you. Sometimes my clients, as I ask them after a few weeks or a few days, or yeah, depending on the complexity of their problem, I'll ask them, "How is things?" They will just say, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm all right." And to me, it's like previously they were in crying, they were so miserable, and you just see them now a lot more articulate and saying, it's okay, much better. They're saying, what I'm trying to say is hypnosis, when you do the hypnosis, it consolidate in the mind, and over time you're changing without thinking. You yourself don't know, but you're changing and elevating out of the problem and the symptoms.
yeah, I have a weird. I don't know if it's a weird question or not. I used to think that hypnosis is like holding a pendulum or whatever. You see the movies, but this question is for all of you. Is there any misconceptions about hypnosis that you encountered in your various practices or your fields?
Come
Not just
again.
no,
Oh,
I
the
used to
pendulum,
Pendulum
that's
clock.
old
yeah,
fashioned.
it's one of
Yeah,
yes.
pendulum clock.
Can
But
you
any other
imagine? Can you imagine if you see why they use it, the pendulum and all this kind of thing? Maybe it was used in the old-fashioned way. But sometimes they use it in television. Look, this is all for television props. If you did a television series and I'm talking, okay,
oops, he got disconnected again. But well, maybe the Dr. No or Dr. Pillay would like to share on the any
Yeah,
action
no.
on hypnosis. Dr.
Okay,
Pillay or Dr. No?
for me, okay.
Yeah.
That's the first.
Basically, the pendulum is used to attract your attention. So the person make him concentrate on the pendulum, so his mind becomes concentrated. So basically, it's a way to attract his attention and to retain his attention to what you're saying. So basically, it's a practice for concentration.
Something
Your mind to be concentrated, directed to one point. No, so that is the concentration process.
I
Just
see.
no.
Yeah, I have patient who is very anxious. I cannot make her sit, you know. How can I go into hypnosis even if he cannot sit? So what I do is just take some not really pendula, but it's only hanging things like that, so that he just can focus, as Datuk said just now, just to bring the attention to that things, and then after that we can go deeper. It's actually
I see.
only one small part of hypnosis, rather than it's called it the pendula is actually a hypnosis.
I see. Yeah, Julian is back. Welcome back.
nowadays the easiest way is just allow your eyes to close and you just get them to go into hypnosis, because
Just that.
it's so much more easier than to get, because the old days were to get them to strain their eyes, and when you strain their eyes, they're overloading their critical thinking, and every time when you're critically out, your subconscious come forward domain and dominant, and then every ideas and suggestions go into it, and that's what's how the science behind the pendulum and getting them to focus on something was done. But it's so easy and gentle now. Just close your eyes and just
I
work with
see.
the client.
We have one more question from Vincent Chong, and he asks, "Can hypnosis assist to empower the inner potential?" Beautiful question.
I think earlier on I talked about the motivation, but maybe Dr. Pillay or Dr. No can contribute to this on how
Basically,
you work
as
with
you mentioned just now,
inner
inner
potential.
potential. What is inner potential? Basically, every person is made differently. Every person's potential is different. Now, what is limiting this potential? What is limiting a person from achieving his maximum potential? Is his belief system, his past experience, his education. So, everything about the self,
Mm.
you have to evaluate his mental state, emotional state, all of these things, and even the spiritual state. So, the maximum potential of a person depends on many factors. So, hypnosis helps you to go back into your life and the experiences you've had to correct any imbalances or any negative belief that's planted into you. You can take that out. So once that kind of negative belief is taken out, your potential immediately increases. You may have the potential, but something is limiting you. So what we aim in hypnosis is to take out those limiting potential, limiting beliefs that can increase your potential. So definitely to answer the question slightly, hypnosis will definitely have to increase your potential multifold, multifold.
Multifold,
Okay.
power of 10, I believe. Yeah.
Multifold, yes,
Okay.
Datuk.
Yeah.
I will hold that. So if I can say something here, many of our people now don't have goal. They don't have mission in their life, and even they don't have value because they of the fear, as what Datuk said just now. They of the past experience. They think there are a lot of failure in the past. So what I try to do once with my client is like I just go to the subconscious, clear the doubt, clear the fear, whatever he has from the previous experience, and talk about give suggestion. Okay, what do you want to be in the future? What and advice in the subconscious way. And after that, he know that what my value I want, what my goal. So from that, I can just empower. Okay, now you know your goal already, so work on that. So after that, he's okay. A month later, he come to see me, doctor. This is my improvement. This is my achievement. Even in a month,
Wow.
because
1 month.
it's
Yes,
work from inside. Yeah.
yes. I've used this word before. Uh, the size of the world inside you is the size of the world outside you. So, whatever you have, the limiting belief that's inside you is actually happening outside you. Yeah. So, like Dr. North say, you don't go outside to look for the fix. You go inside to look for the fix. And hypnosis is a very wonderful tool because you can do self help. You can do self hypnosis. Affirmation, visualization. There's so many MP3s that does things like that. N- You will know where your potential is having a hindrance. Have you seen some people? They do everything right. They work so hard from 9 to late night at hour. They're very rajin. They do everything, but still cannot get results. Why? Inside them is some potential. I call it blocks or inner beliefs that still won't push them past the threshold. It's like the water, it's boiling and boiling and boiling, but it doesn't come to a point where it turns into steam, and success.
Mhm.
You see?
It's just like a
So
pop of saying
hypnosis
that,
is a
right?
wonderful tool to take you to the breakthrough that you need.
So it's like our inner us reflects, our outer us reflects the inner us, correct?
Yeah, just like a lot of people, it's just that your mind, your whole inner self, the operating system, is 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 loaded with information. But if it's loaded with full of negative information, you see a lot of us don't realize our senses are picking up information from the external world. You may be a normal person, but if you stand beside a negative person who's talking about negativity, It's all going into your ear and it's loading inside your files. And you don't know why suddenly you are negative. I always tell people, if you want to get flu, stand beside someone with flu, and 3 days later, all the T3 bacteria will get into you and you'll get flu. You see? Likewise, you want to be negative, surround yourself with negative people, and you'll go through it. So, while we are talking about hypnosis, I come back again to the concept of integrative. A
Mm.
hypnotherapist can integrate with the medical people. He can even integrate with a counselor. He can integrate with a psychologist. There's no there's no like who's who better or overlap. There are some clear functions that we can work together to create the best patient care, the best patient support in a very scientific manner to make sure there's no mishaps, to make sure that they are taken and given the highest level of results that can help them to become normal, functional human beings for what they want to be.
I
I
see. In
think that
fact,
would be my the biggest goal for scientific hypnosis, and this brings back again to 17th of July to the 21st, 5 days course, only 5 days of your life, where you will learn from Tom Silver some of the greatest techniques in hypnosis, because in traditional hypnosis, a lot of traditional hypnosis have been mixed with counseling, with psychology, but hypnosis is very standalone on itself. Like I said, it's a collection of techniques. So Tom Silver is one of those who 40 years ago, yes, had used some of those original techniques from the grandmasters of hypnosis for many, many years. So somehow he has been America's favorite TV hypnotist. When you work with techniques, you need to work with proof of concepts. You know, when a client comes to you, he pays money. He doesn't want to get cured. He wants to get results.
yep, exactly.
Yes, and the therapist cannot be just saying, "Let's try to help you. Let's this," because you're taking his money and he wants results. He wants to feel better. Yeah. So you need to be properly skilled. And you are today working. Remember, today we are in a world with the intelligent society. I got many hypnotherapists who came to me and said, "Julian, I can't work on myself. Can you help me?" You see? And he knows everything what I do because he's
Right.
trained to. You see? So we are working with many intelligent community. So we have to make sure that we are of a high standard in the way we do. So even if you have learned hypnotherapy many years ago, yes, just like me, I'm going for this program too. We need to upgrade, upskill. Important. We have to have continuous progressive development. And I would consider going into scientific hypnosis gives the opportunity even for doctors, for psychologists, psychiatrists. Yes. I remember, yeah, when Dr. Nor came, yes, I was amazed that she was willing to learn hypnosis. And and I was so happy that she used to share with me a lot of how she used with her clients and all that. And this is what we call integrative, because you know why? All she did was she had another tool in her toolbox. Yeah. And it's the same when you go take your car for to a mechanic. Yes. If this spanner doesn't work, he'll use a wrench. You see, it's
Yep.
not that because the objective is not to talk about the product. It's about giving the solution to your
Right.
to your to your client and patient.
So it's like what Vincent Chong has mentioned in the Facebook that, in fact, the way it's being done, the master key system, which is this book, has also mentioned it before. And we have one more question from Bhaskar, which relates to whatever you're saying right now. Can the 5 days training make us a practitioner? Because we're going to learn a lot of tools into the toolbox, yeah? And does it make us a practitioner? This is what Bhaskaran Kosti has asked.
Okay, here's the thing about hypnosis education. Tom is a very competent trainer. He has trained many people over 5 days, and you see, it's a lot of hours there. And you must also understand, hypnosis is not rocket science, but it has rocket
Mhm.
science effect.
Yeah.
Yes, so he will cover this, and it's very intensive. The program is very intensive, and we have enough long hours to it, and you will definitely learn to be a competent person because Tom's is very hands-on. His techniques are very fast, so and very simple to use, and you get it. I was giving an example, I he taught me a bit on the on ERT, yes, emotional replacement therapy technique. And about 2 months ago, there was a client who came to me, and she brought her brother, was 50 years old. He had a hole in his leg, diabetes, and everything. But he was a horrible alcoholic. He was drinking cheap liquor, and he was put in a home so that he doesn't cause trouble about cheap liquor and all that stuff. So she brought him to me, and I said, okay, let's see whether I can help. And I used ERT, and the guy, he went into hypnosis and he responded quite well, and I followed the whole process correctly. And then I said, okay, just let me know how this goes, because to me, alcohol needs a lot of sessions. But she said she could only take him out of the home for a couple for that moment. I said, okay, all right. I hope at least this will reduce or something. Just last week, I just called to ask her, how's your brother doing? And you know what was the reply? She said, he has not touched a drop of alcohol for 2 months. And I was shocked. I was, wow, this ERT is something else.
That's
So
awesome, man.
this is,
This is real life.
yeah. So, and Tom has always told me ERT is smoking, drinking, and all that are there because I think a lot of people in the over because when I started 23 years ago, they call me a quack. But now the educated society has started to see the potential of this because through better education, better awareness, everything. So it's what I can truly understand is because hypnosis hasn't been put in medical science or behavioral science education. A lot of people are unaware of that potential. You see, I I I my ambition is hypnosis to be in every university, and that's where it should be, you know. And universities are the expert in developing syllabus and creating
Mhm.
the correct structure with MQA, with the right the right education. Then those hypnotherapists who come out are what we call hybrid hypnotherapists. They have a very grounded knowledge on how to work with people and mindset, behavior, and also the different industry sectors they come from, work and family life, every area of the spectrum of humanness, and be able to work with their clients better. Maybe Datuk Pillay, who has been in the Ministry of Health, will probably share something from the policy point of view or anything like that.
Basically, the ministry, of course, we are open to all kinds of therapies, anything they can benefit the community. That's what we should look at. So we have known now from research, from evidence-based and scientific research carried on all over the world that hypnotherapy has a role to play as a complementary uh, portion of medical practice. So it's very important for medical practitioners to know what this can offer, so that even if they are not practicing, they can refer patients to correct person for treatment. But if you are a medical practitioner and if you take on this hypnotherapy, especially Tom Silver's 5-day program, you will have, as Julian mentioned, I had a toolbox with you. You will have another tool to effectively deal with the patient's problems. And the kinds of behavioral problems we are having nowadays is so rampant. If you are successful in this, you have a good practice and you are doing it the proper way, patients will keep on coming to you because the families will bring them to you. So a lot of people are suffering because they can't get over the addiction. So addiction is one area that hypnotherapy addresses very well. So addiction to drugs, to alcohol, to all kinds of things. So this hypnotherapy is one area that I would urge any person dealing with other people, counselors, medical practitioners, anyone, nurses, all these people can go for this additional training, keep that in your toolbox, and this will be very useful for your patients. So I would urge everybody to seriously consider to attend this program with Tom Silver. He's a fantastic guy. When you meet him, you'll know he's fantastic. He's compressed lot of knowledge into simple techniques, and that you can apply. And he'll teach you personally. And you can't get this kind of training for the cost that's being offered right now. And it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You or your friends, if you are an employer, if you employ a lot of people, send your human resources managers for this training. People in the company, identify one or two individuals in your company who can be the flag, flag bearer for your company on personal development. So personal development initiatives can be started with this kind of programs. So I would urge all of you to consider seriously to develop this part of hypnotherapy into your common on your daily life. It is going to be very common very soon. It will be widespread. In fact, I will give you an example. There is one hypnotherapist in a small town in Johor, a very small town. He is doing a flourishing hypnotherapy business because people from the surrounding villages and towns are coming to him. So it's already gone to the village level. Very soon it will be all over the country. And we would like to see you as one of them promoting in one part of the community. Thank you.
Thank you,
Maybe
Dr.
Doctor, now you want to say something on that?
Yeah, I think we have to open our mind first thing. So by joining the Tom Silver's course, I think we can have a clear picture of what hypnosis is. And by the training from the Tom Silver, surely you can practice that in the future. It's actually knowledge is more important here. The practice is later. So when you know the skill, you know the technique, your talent or your competence will slowly develop when you practice that. And I'm sure Tom Silver is there to give guidance for us in the long run, in the long term, or even Mr. Julian also can do that. So we just go and learn, and later we develop our own skill, our own technique from the knowledge that we get in our practice, so that later you become champion on yourself in doing hypnosis later.
I see.
I
Thank you,
like to
Dr. Noor.
share this on behalf of two areas. One is from MPHA, our Malaysian Professional Hypnotherapy Association. See, when you become a student in through this program with Tom Silver Scientific Hypnosis, you also offered a 1 year membership, free membership with our association, the Malaysian Professional Hypnotherapy Association, MPHA. What it means is you are now not just left. Normally when you go to a training, you'll never see sometimes there are some trainers, you'll never see them again.
Yeah.
You're left alone, you know, and you have to figure things out, whatever you have learned. Well, this is not going to happen in this training because you know why? After it's all done, you're going to be part of a big family called MPHA, where you have fellow colleagues with similar trainings, and you have a pool of shared knowledge, shared experience through all this team. So you have that ability to share and discuss. That's one. And also, I talk on behalf of Tom Silver because I also represent him here in Asia and Malaysia for as USPCH. Tom has said that after the training, he will still be through the association. He will still be in touch with all of you, all the participants through online CPDs, continuous progressing development, and he will keep
Wow.
it for a couple of months to make sure that you're all up to date and help you. So this doesn't happen in any other training. So when I know there was someone who asked, I think Baskaran, who said, can the 5 day training make us practitioners? Yes, it gives you the grounding, the foundation, the structure, but Tom is still there past as post training process to ensure that you are having momentum in your education towards being a competent hypnotherapist. That is very key, and that makes a very value added training program.
I understand that when we go for this 5 day certification, we get three certs, correct?
Yes, the three certs are: one is the scientific hypnosis therapeutical cert. Then we are giving one for the ERT, because that's the patented Tom Silver ERT cert. But there's another one that's amazing, because today we are talking about ESG, environment, social, governance, ESG. So under S, social, yes. This was designed actually for all the corporate people who are coming, corporate HR trainers, whoever, who want to go into corporate hypnosis, who want to use corporate into corporate performance, corporate development, what corporate culture, you know. So we have, and today even the government is talking about the end game. So this certificate is a certified quit smoking coach. So we are talking about quit smoking. So you can help people quit smoking, and you can help, and this Tom is going to give you a cutting edge techniques how to do it.
So
And
it
isn't it
includes
timely? The government
everything,
has
correct?
banned you. When you ban something, you must have an outlet for conversion. You see? So with this knowledge, you can go out there. All the smokers who have been banned cannot smoke, but they got no outlet. So what you can do is you can say, "Hey, come, I will teach you how to quit smoking and get you out of it." So eventually you get neutralized by the ban. So the ban is there to help you in the environment. You can't smoke, but at the same time, your urge and craving you can get rid with hypnosis. Then you become a healthy, committed human being for
So this
health.
covers vaping, right?
Yeah, so three
Julian?
certs.
Yeah, three certs. Bhaskaran Kosti asks, now what would the cost be? And I want to add one more. I heard that you're limiting it to only a select number of participants, correct?
Yeah, because you see why. Um, when you do when you train something with hands-on, I'm sure, like, Dr. No, I remember when I did my training, yes, because the trainer needs to engage with all the participants there, especially the hands-on. If you have a huge class, the guy at the back sitting down there cannot concentrate, he cannot engage with the trainer. So this
Yeah.
is a very well sized class, so that everybody can have Tom personally engaged in it with them. So that's where the value you get, the world's best, one of the world's best hypnotherapists working with you personally in the training, not from just at a stage, is walking over to you and mentoring you in your techniques. That's why we have kept the class very sizable and manageable.
How many seats do you have left? Important question.
Very little in terms of the early bird. Yes, yes. So we
Okay.
have to rush. You
And
really
how
have
much
to
does it?
rush because it's next week, and we have a cutoff date,
Yeah.
and it does everything is all there. Now
What's the
someone said,
investment? I think Bhaskaran asked. Yeah.
okay, the investment is like this. In US is 10,000 US dollars. Tom is on a tour. He's from after Malaysia. 1st of August is doing in China. In China, 6,000 US dollars. But
Oh,
in Malaysia, MPHA and USBCH Asia has subsidized the price, and we also, since Tom is making Malaysia a hub, we have we have negotiated with him, and it's only 8,000 ringgit. Now, if you look at many of the local courses by local of what providers, yes, they charge 4,000 to time, some of them 15,000. So here you're getting someone for 5 days from the United States who happens to be the one of the best legendary hypnotists in the world. Yes, teaching you something of the latest technology brought to you from US to Malaysia for the first time, and he's here to mentor you for 5 years, and you're getting a US education that is cheaper than a flight ticket to US. So if I were you, I will start signing up right after this Facebook Live, because you know why? Seats are getting, the early bird seats are going, almost gone. Yes, so please take this opportunity. It's a lifetime opportunity.
Okay, I have put in into the. I'm going to show information on how you can sign up there in the crawler at the bottom. But we have one more question from Mr. Lu Kok Hu. He asked, the course covers 4 modules. I believe I've seen the brochure. And he's asking, what are the 4 modules that it's going to cover?
Okay, um, so this is, I wouldn't want to represent Tom too much on this, because it's his technology. He always use the word it's his technology. Yes, but the it covers the basic understanding and fundamentals of hypnosis. Yeah, and he also talks about engaging with the clients. He doesn't use the word induction. He just used the word into receptivity of hypnosis. Yes, and then there are some specialist topics, whether it's also ERT, then the usage and integration of EEG and neuroscience, how it affects the brains and the behavior. Yes, and then finally he talks a little bit about how you work with clients. Very important, engaging with clients, and a little bit on how business and everything. So actually, it's more than just 4 topics. Sometimes
Oh, that's
I know this because I've trained. Sometimes you put as a trainer, you don't put everything into your manual, because you use the manual has a information and content, but students have to take notes as to what really churns out, because that is the real I call it gems that the trainer really shares. So it's more than that.
okay. Oh, Julian, everyone, we have actually went up to almost 1.5 hours sharing this, and I think it's so interesting. But well, it's time, and I guess we have to
Yes.
keep it for next week. Yeah, with Tom in person as well. Yeah, but before we end for the night, does any of the panelists do you have any last words to share for on this therapy or the event and so on? Datuk Pillay?
It's a good opportunity for anybody thinking of a career change and to do some good to the society. This will be a fantastic opportunity. Make use of it and don't delay.
Mm, very good, very wise words. How about Dr. No?
Okay. To prevent a mental disorder, you have to take care of your mental health. So by entering this Tom Silver course, you can take care of your mental health so that you can prevent yourself of having mental disorder in the future. I think it's a really good opportunity. That's what I get from the Mr. Julian last time.
Very good
I,
advice.
I would like
Julian.
to see more medical personnel coming for this program, because you might be surprised that if you integrate hypnosis into your medical practice, there's so much of patient care you can create and patient comfort you can create, that sometimes will complement medical treatment.
So it's
So
integration
please come
of
with an
brain.
open mind, because you might be surprised as to how quickly this you may absorb this information, have great ideas how you can integrate in your clinic, in your practice, wherever you are. That's what I would like to share.
Very wise. So are we going to have one more live next week, Julian, for those who missed today and want to know more?
Well, you there's I think Caroline will share some links in here. Yes,
Yeah.
and you can also if you go to our Tom Silver Facebook page, There's tons of information to get in touch with us. And please come contact us. We'll do our best to get you in. We try not to reject anybody because this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Because Tom is, I don't know whether he'll come back again to Malaysia. And I waited 23 years to see him. Yes. And I'm finally going to see him next week. In fact, he calls me two, three times in a day. So he said,
Wow.
Julian, I can't wait to come to KL, and see all you wonderful guys. Yes. So Tom is also our international fellow lifetime member in our association. So we got some very auspicious person. We have the Datuk Pillay, former deputy DG of Health for TCM, on as our patron. We have Dr. Asyikin, such a prominent psychiatrist from Kelantan Hospital, USM, and 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 we even have one of the best, soon to be one of the best social media expert in Malaysia or everywhere. Caroline Ang, yeah, also coming
Thank
to
you. Thank you.
learn because yeah, why not? Because in hypnosis you could learn subliminal copy editing that will be useful for better catchability for sales. So it's all about hypnotic influence. So there's a lot of application of hypnosis, And if you learn how to do it's all about communication and linguistics. So if you can learn all this in this training, and even after that, use it as a platform to grow. From there on, life will change. I promise you, life will change. So with that, I would like to say good night. Yes, I know it's so late. Yes, and
Thank you so much,
I want to
everyone.
thank Dr. Pillay. I want to thank Dr. No, and also you, Caroline, and most important, all you guys who stayed so late tonight to hear us. Thank you so much, and
Yeah, it's a solid 1.5 hours of sharing
pleasure
and learning
to
with everyone. Yeah, good night,
have,
everyone.
yeah, to thank
Good
you
night
all.
and bye for now.
Okay, good night. Bye bye.